different locations after normal business hours. For information on this, call 352-615-9412 or go to events at ppirevents.com. PPIR, professional people in real estate.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Nice looking Friday. Hope you're doing well. If you're out and about looking for a gift to get somebody, man, you're going to like this next conversation. Actually, what I was thinking about in the next conversation is that if you ever tried to one-up somebody with name dropping, don't be in the same room as Joseph Cicio, because, oh my gosh, this guy has known some names in his lifetime. He is a renowned interior designer. He served 3 years as a monastic monk. He served as the director of visual merchandising for Lord & Taylor. Served as chairman and CEO of Magnin. Am I saying that right, Robin? In San Francisco. He served as president of retail development for Donna Karan International. He's a consultant for fashion and home
wonderful.
Furnishing brands worldwide. His book is wonderful too. It's called Friends Bearing Gifts. And what happened to me as I was looking through the book, I was thinking, I wonder what I can give him. See if I can give him something.
That'd be cool.
Because I want to be when he's at an event like with these famous people, he can name drop this. I want my name to somehow be between two famous names.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, just say I knew Burt Reynolds and Larry Whitler and
and Nelson Rockefeller.
There you go. Yeah. Joseph Cicio. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning to both of you.
Where are you calling from?
Connecticut.
All right. How's the weather up there today?
It's kind of overcast and it's not so lovely.
Yeah, but
my.
No snow.
Where in Connecticut are you?
Litchfield County.
Oh, okay. I only think I know Milford. I only know Milford a little bit from my.
It's about 45 minutes from here.
From my childhood. So the book is amazing. I have so many questions about the book and also about the reason for the book. But the first thing is, how did this all happen for you? Where were your beginnings?
Well, you pretty much covered it. I'm just a kid, born in Brooklyn, New York, from a middle-class Italian family. I was in the monastery for 3 years as a Benedictine monk. And then I came out of the monastery and had to make a living, which was frightening. I was lucky enough to get into a school that had a relationship with Lord & Taylor. I was one of two of the top students, so they hired the two of us. And that led to Macy's, which was the best thing that ever happened in my life, almost.
What did you do for Macy's? What was your job?
I was hired as director of visual merchandising and rose to be CEO of Magnins, which Macy's owned.
Oh, wow.
It was a division in California.
Wow. And when was this? When did you do this?
Well, I became chairman in 92, I think it was. Yeah, 92.
Okay. Well, a kid from Brooklyn, you've already reached a major pinnacle at that point.
Well, I agree, but you never forget where you come from and what you really are. But it's been an unbelievable journey.
Yeah. So where do the gifts play a role? How is it possible that people just say, "Oh, here you go, you can have this," and these are no small gifts in your book? I mean, you got some amazing things in here.
Well, gifts really come out of relationships, I believe. At least the gifts I have, no question. Everybody in the book is somebody that, not everybody's a celebrity, but certainly there are many well-known names. But they're all people that I had a strong relationship with. And, I'm sure you do the same thing, you guys. If you have a relationship with somebody, you love giving, and often you're on the receiving end of that relationship.
Yeah, right.
I had a fantastic mentor, my first at Lord & Taylor, and the first trip for me to Europe, which I was very excited about. As a young guy, I was 22 years old. She said, let me teach you one thing. You have great style, great taste. You're going to be a success in this business. She really said that to me back then.
Wow.
And she said, you're going to travel all over the world, and the best thing is somebody else is going to pay for it, which I thought was funny at the time. But she said, you must promise me that when you're traveling, you buy yourself one beautiful thing. So someday you will have a home filled with beautiful things when you're as old as I am. And she was about 65, 70 then. Filled with memories from friends and your travels, that all you need to do is look at these things, and they will bring back the memories of those people that were most important in your life.
Oh, my gosh.
And it's true. And that's the book.
Okay, can I just take what you just said and use it for a second? That's why I'm not really a fan of gift cards. Because
oh, God, me too.
Right? Because if I give you a gift card, you're going to forget that I gave you the money for whatever it is you bought. But if I give you the gift, you're always going to say, oh, I got this from Larry.
Exactly.
Right?
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And I have to tell you, I'm the same way with. I don't like when people tell me make a donation too. I make plenty of donations. I'm a big believer in giving to needy organizations. But I want to give a gift that you're going to remember. I want to give a gift that you're going to look at 10 years from now and say, Joe gave me that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So how did you come to make a decision to write? This is an amazing book. It's a beautiful book. I mean, such a work of art in itself. What's the beginnings of the book?
The beginnings of the book is, again, Cici, my mentor, Cici Kempner was her name, giving me the instructions. And then, I love beautiful homes, and I've had a number of them published and all that. But people would always come to the house, still do. And they, just for dinner, lunch, coffee, whatever. And they say, oh, Joe, I love that. Or, Joe, where did you get that? Or, Joe, that's an amazing something. And everything had a story. Everything's got a story. So people would say, you got to do a book. You got to do a book. And I'm not joking. This has been going on for 30, 40 years, people saying this to me. So finally, a little over 2 years ago, I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a book. I'm going to do a book, which I really wanted. I had two purposes of it. One, I wanted to deliver the message how important relationships are in our lives. And two, I wanted to pay tribute to the relationships that were important in my life.
Yeah.
And your writing is emotionally charged. I mean, from the first words that you put on the page throughout your life, and then you go into a narrative about each person, you can feel the emotion there.
Yeah, no, well, I'm Italian, so, that says it all, I guess. But I really, I do have strong feelings for people, and obviously there's nothing worse than losing someone in your life. But what and getting into the book and living through such a divisive time in our lives, I just think it's so important for people to understand before it's too late that the people in your lives that you have relationships with are the most important, and you need to make them know that. You need to tell them how you feel. You need to tell them you love them. You need to tell them what they mean to you. And we don't do that. We just take that all for granted. And then before you know it, it's often too late to deliver that message.
And you had a huge drive to be a dad, so much of a drive that you had to go see your psychiatrist friend to see if they could recommend that this is something that you really want to do.
Yeah, no, I again, very Italian heritage. Family means everything. People mean everything. And I got to a point in my life where I wasn't going to have a family, which I always wanted in the most conventional sense. And I decided, you know what? I could do this, and honestly, I don't even remember if I write his name in the book. Dr. Rizzo was a very dear friend of mine, and I talked to him one evening over dinner and asked his advice. I said, I want to have my own family. Am I crazy? So I was a single gay guy, and this is 1988 or so. It was unheard of then.
So you adopted Chris, right? Chris is your
Right.
is your son.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about Chris.
Oh, Chris is, he's a great guy. He really, I always say to close friends, if you had a conversation with God and you said, look, dear God, please, this is what I want, and you gave him a list of the kind of person you wanted as a son, God delivered.
Oh, that's beautiful.
He was just amazing. Talent, athletic, everything I'm not. Including very good looking.
No, I take except. You're a good looking guy. I was just looking at your pictures. So how old was Chris when you adopted him?
They put him in my arms at 4 days old.
Oh my gosh! Oh wow!
Yeah, I virtually adopted him before he was. I want to say before he was born, because we had, everything was very, very legal and all that. I didn't want any problems. So all the birth mother wanted to put him up for adoption. She and I had a communication. And 4 days old, I thought I would die. When they came in and put him in my arms, I thought I had just consumed a gallon of lye.
Well, we have.
I was so nervous.
Oh my gosh!
What we have in common is that we both. I consider my son my greatest gift ever. From God, of course. But
exactly.
So it sounds like how my son is now 32. And nothing changes. I still am in love with my son. Well, how is your son? What's he doing?
28.
28. Okay, so it's kind of the same. Wow. Does he live near you? Do you guys still?
No, California.
Oh, okay. What's he doing? What's his?
He hates the cold weather. He really does. I happen to love it. He hates it. So about 6 years ago, he asked me if he could go with a girlfriend to California, and I said, okay.
Sure, why not?
If that's what makes you happy.
Yeah. So if I was in your house, am I in your house virtually by looking at these pictures? Are these all?
Without a doubt, that's the house.
Okay, so I'm gonna flip to one and ask you to tell me the story behind it. Ready?
Absolutely.
All right, tell me the story behind. Oh, there was a drawing. Oh, never mind. Wait. Tell me wait. Let me ask one. Let me find one.
Okay.
What? Oh, tell me the drawing behind not the drawing. Tell me the story behind. Oh, they were little. It was frames of little circular pieces of art, like little sculptures.
Oh no, those are they could. Isn't that funny? You pick on that. They're called intaglios.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're usually they're either English, French, or Italian, and they're dies. People think they're cameos when they look at them, but they're dies that were done in the 17th, 18th, and 19th century for minting commemorative coins or medals or even buttons.
Oh, really?
And I can't explain over the phone, but there's one framed way up on top on the wall that one of the walls you're looking at,
right,
that were given to me by a big shot at Lord and Taylor. When again I was a very young person, but I did some extra work, and he was very grateful. He was the director, and he called me to his office and he gave me that set of intaglios, and that's where the collection grew from.
Oh my gosh!
Absolutely gorgeous.
I've never seen anything like this before. So are these like is there one made, like when somebody designs a coin, do they carve it the exact size of what the coin will be?
Yes, yeah, exactly. They'll carve it. You know what's amazing? You're saying that. I swear to you, just last night I bought some online at an auction online, and just got them last night. I was so excited.
Oh my gosh! And so, the picture I'm looking at of your staircase, that whole, and I love the way you design each area to have a theme.
Yeah.
So we can get tips from you about designing as well as gifts, right?
Yeah, no. I'm pretty good at that stuff. That's kind of my CV, I guess.
And you're also a humorist. Going back to your Italian heritage, you would reference the Godfather movie in some of your writings and talk about how they keep their hair slicked back.
Oh, again, I say it. I mean, I just think the brilliance. I love people that do things really well. And the brilliance of The Godfather and The Sopranos, those productions, and the casting and the writing and the costumes. And I swear to you, I say it in the book, I think, when you would sit, and watch Tony Soprano having Sunday dinner with his incredible, mother, dysfunctional mother, and the family, and they're eating pasta, you could smell the tomato gravy. I swear you could smell it. And the same thing in The Godfather. If you remember when they would sit at the table, and it was the Godfather's, birthday, and they were eating, and they brought that cake in. I remember that cake. The details were brilliant, and I love stuff like that.
A few years back, Prince Charles did a documentary on his paintings, everything that he would go, and you have quite a story with him.
Yeah, no, I swear to you, I'm not dropping names or whatever, but I was sitting having dinner in Buckingham Palace, and I was like in total shock and awe.
Oh my gosh!
Holy!
See, this
God.
is what I mean. We can't compete with you. There's no way.
This kid from Brooklyn is sitting here in Buckingham Palace. I was sitting next to, what's her name? The famous publisher's daughter that got kidnapped.
Patty Hearst.
Patty Hearst, exactly. Mm-hmm. I was sitting next to Patty Hearst, and I'm thinking, I don't believe this.
Wow.
When we were leaving, Joan Rivers was a very, very dear close friend. That's a lot of her in the book. And when Joan and I were walking out of the palace, and she was at another table, I was at the different table, and she said to me, "Did you check her purse? Did she have a gun?" Only Joan could do that. But the prince was amazing. Is amazing. Quite honestly, he was nothing like I expected. And when we walked out of having tea with him, which he served, he did everything himself. There wasn't no carrying on or anything. In the garden at his country home called Highgrove, I said to my friend Robert, who worked for the prince then, I want to tell you one thing. This man has the worst press agent in the world. This guy is fabulous. He's incredibly intelligent. He's incredibly passionate about sustainability of the planet. He's very funny. He's got a great sense of humor, and he's very down to earth.
Wow!
I didn't expect any of it, but that's how I ended up in Buckingham Palace in Highgrove, and I still get notes and Christmas cards. I was working for him for a period as a consultant. He asked me to do a project for him, and that was the reason for meeting him initially, and we became friends. But, and again, he'll call on a Saturday, and, here, and I'm talking on the phone, and then I put the phone down, and I think, holy God, I just talked to the Prince of Wales. And I don't take these things lightly. I really don't. I think, holy macaroni, who would believe this?
Wow. How is it? You could, if you had, like when you were a kid, if you had gone to Coney Island and seen one of those gypsy psychics or something, you would have never believed her if she was right, if she was telling you all this stuff was going to be in your future.
Well, if you look at the very beginning of the book, there's 2 dedications. One to my son, and the second is to a clairvoyant. So it's interesting you say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's right in the very front.
Was she right? I mean, was it when you were very young? He.
Yeah. No, at a certain point, I had known him then for a while. His name was Bertram Heckel. He's passed on now. The most incredible clairvoyant ever. And I was at the height of my profession at Macy's. I was executive senior vice president. I was this, that, and the other thing. And in my field, that was about as high as you could possibly go. There was no other way to advance, which is fine. I had the greatest job in the world. I had the most beautiful son in the world. I lived in Manhattan. What more could you ask for?
Yeah, really?
And I was with Bertram at one of the sessions, and he said, I don't know. He said, my timing's always wrong, but you're going to get a major promotion. And I said, Bert, that can't happen. I said, there is no promotion for me. This is it. There's nothing. He said, I don't give a damn. I'm telling you, you get a promotion. I don't know when, but you're going to get a promotion.
Wow.
And honestly, I don't remember exactly now the timing after that, but time after that, maybe 6 months or so, a year after that, I got called into the chairman's office of the corporation, and they made me CEO of iMagnums. I almost passed out. I really did. Honestly, I didn't expect it. And the first thing I thought is Bertram. Oh, my God. Bertram said I was getting a promotion.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
So, I'm a
So that's a gift. I mean, what you just told us was a non-tangible gift of what he told you.
Yeah. No, he was such a sweet, dear man.
What's wonderful about your book is that all of the people who are showcased in there are real, down-to-earth people with their personality. You introduced me to a woman named Slim, and she gave up her suit, and that was so pretty cool, I thought.
Oh, no, Slim Keith. She was married to Howard Hawks, the director. And if you ever want to see a fantastic movie, I'm sure you have already, but I've seen it like 32,000 times, called To Have and Have Not. It was Betty Bacall's first movie. She was 18 in that movie.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And the suit that Betty wears in the movie was Slim's actual suit. That Howard Hawks, when they lived in Hollywood, in Beverly Hills, he came home during lunch, and he said, "Where's that little black and white suit you just bought, check suit?" And she says, "In the closet." "Why?" He said, "I want to put it on that kid that you told me to try out and see how it works." Because Slim had seen Betty Bacall, Lauren Bacall, on I think it was Harper's Bazaar magazine cover. And he screen tested her, and if you watch the movie again and listen carefully, Humphrey Bogart in the movie always refers to Betty in the movie as Slim, which was not her name in the movie, but he always called her Slim, at a tribute to Slim Keith.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my.
Oh, wow.
But she was the most amazing woman. Amazing.
Oh my
I miss
gosh.
her so much. I miss all of them.
Joe, we're amazed at you. Your stories are so amazing. I love the heart of what you are about. I want to tell you that when I first found out that there was a book about gifts that somebody got, I thought, well, that's kind of materialistic. But the more I know about you, the more I realize it's anything but materialistic. Each one of these physical things has a story, and so many of the things that are not physical, your son, people are physical, but you know what I mean. It's not a.
Yeah,
it's
of
not
course, you're right.
Yeah, I mean the love you have for him and the love you have for the people that these gifts remind you of. I think that's the bigger picture.
That's the message. You got it perfectly. That's the message. I got lucky. The publisher, and like you said, I had take no credit, and I'm considered quite a creative guy. I take no credit for the look of the book, other than I didn't do it. I had nothing to do with the actual concept of the cover, but I said to the art director, Federico Farina at Pointedly Press, I said, "You're in charge, but the one thing I'm telling you is the last thing the world needs," and I'm a merchant, you got to remember that. I said, "The last thing the world needs is another book with a beautiful picture of a room setting or a garden on the cover. I want a cover that's going to make a statement and, jumps off the shelf." And he did it. They did it. Just did an amazing job, I think.
Okay, I just flipped to one picture. I have to ask you about this.
Anything.
It looks like a skylight framed with skulls of antelopes or something. What is that?
That's my kitchen. It is a skylight, and and they're all over the walls too. There's a couple of hundred in there. They're called Roe, R-O-E, deer horns, and they're from Australia. The horns are normally the deer are native to Australia. And what's really the importance of the collection, believe it or not, is not the horns. It's the plaques they're on, because most of those plaques are antique carved plaques from the Black Forest in Germany.
Oh, wow.
That's why, and, I just started collecting them. Unfortunately, I'm one of those crazy people that once I decide that I like something and I'm going to collect it, it becomes a collection pretty quick.
All right, I have an idea for a gift for you. I'm not lying to you, but I'm not going to tell you what it is either. But I'm going to make something for you. It's going to be a handmade gift for you. Okay?
Oh, Let me tell you, handmade gifts are the best gifts in the world. I'm doing that right now.
All right, that's what
Brilliant.
that's what I have in mind for you, but it's going to be a secret, and give me some time. It's going to take a little while, but I have an idea for you. All right, so we can get the book on Amazon. Do you have a different website you want to tell us about?
No, Amazon's fine. You could go to Amazon, or they could call Pointedly Press directly in New York.
Okay.
They're fantastic people. Ask for Kelly. She's an angel.
and Joseph Cicio, is that .com?
Right.
That's your website?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not sure, are you? You don't really care about the website.
I have like 3 of them, and I'm not sure which one you're. It would be not. It would be Joseph Cicio at gmail.com.
Oh, that's your email. Okay, excellent. Well, now I know how to get a hold of you, so I can tell you I'm ready with your gift.
Yeah, and you guys send me your addresses, and I'll send you what I'm making right now.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
No, I'm making this for all my friends, and I started. You'll see. I'm not going to tell you either.
All right, yeah. All right.
But there's a hint. There's a hint in the book.
I think we hit it off with you right away. We're friends.
No question.
25 minutes later, we're friends, Robin. Joseph, thank you so much. And you enjoy the holidays? Do you celebrate any of them? What do you celebrate?
Yeah, no, and believe it or not, I celebrate, but I go for Christmas. I go up to the monastery and stay with the monks.
Oh my gosh.
For a week, and it's a very small community, and it's still family for me, and I just think that's the way I want to do it.
Where is that? Where do you go?
In Weston, Vermont, the town Weston.
Oh.
It's called Weston Priory. In the very back of the book, there's a tribute to them as well. But it's Weston Priory, Weston, Vermont, and it's an incredible place. And that's where I go.
Joseph, thank you so much. That was
Thank
so much
you,
fun.
guys.
That was so much fun.
Me too.
Have a great season, and you'll be hearing from us. Give me
Okay.
a month or two. We'll be right. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. A 17-year-old Bellevue High School student has died from injuries sustained in a single vehicle accident in Ocala on Wednesday evening near the Four Ranch subdivision. An 11th grade student at Forest High School has been arrested after sending a photo of a gun to students in the school cafeteria. 5 Polk County junior high school students have been hospitalized after eating candy laced with marijuana. Workers picking up trash along I-275 in Tampa found a man's body. The city of Ocala will begin a coatings project for 2 of the sewage treatment lift stations.